Vanderbilt has upset Alabama. Live reaction show coming up. It's college football smothered and covered. And of course, we are powered by Locked On.
You are Locked On College Football, smothered and covered, with your host, Barrett Sallee. Your one-stop shop for everything college football. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, it happened. It happened. Vanderbilt is on the map. Vanderbilt has upset Alabama in the biggest upset of the year, perhaps the biggest upset of the century. That's right. Nobody expected this. Look, Alabama 1 week off of what was an incredible victory over Georgia. They got manhandled. Hey, this show brought to you by FanDuel. First $5 bet gets you $200 in bonus bets. First $5 bet gets you $200 in bonus bets from FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com. That's FanDuel.com today. All right. Let's populate the comment section. If you got comments about this one, let me know. We're live on YouTube. We will be up audio version and on YouTube later on the after we finish this up. But yeah, it was. Hold on. Let me put this out there. Vandy earned that. Vandy manhandled Alabama. Vanderbilt took Alabama football to Alabama. This was maybe Bama reading their own press clippings. Maybe Bama was a little high on itself after what happened last week. But that is no excuse for getting punched in the face consistently by a team that simply wanted it more, that wanted to be there. If you get punched in the face like that, at some point, you got to fight back just for pride, right? If you're in a fist fight and some dude keeps pounding you, you don't just sit there and take it. You step up and throw some haymakers. Bama didn't try to do that. They got worn down by a team that was bigger, yes, even faster and stronger. Maybe not in the metrics, but tonight they were. If you got any comments, leave them in the comments section. I'll try to get to them as quickly as possible. But to me, this is an indictment of Kalen DeBoer's coaching acumen. You know you're getting punched in the mouth. You know things aren't going your way. You know you don't have your A game, which is a little understandable. I get it after what happened last week. You don't have your A game. But you can't motivate your players on the sideline. You can't motivate your players in the locker room. You can't stand up and pound your chest and say, we're Alabama. We're going to do this. We're going to get things right. This is a sign that Kalen DeBoer is not ready for what the SEC brings. Maybe he will be ready down the road, but he's not ready now. You have to be able to keep your players' attention after a big win. DeBoer didn't do that. His players were not ready. They got punched in the face consistently. They didn't get off the mat. And if I'm an Alabama fan, I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed for this coaching staff. Because last week we're sitting here thinking, no problem. Saban to DeBoer, everything's fine. No. Now I'm thinking this might be Saban to DuBose, not Saban to DeBoer. He's not ready for this. You cannot come out this flat, ever. And if you do, if you have your C+ game, especially against a team like Vanderbilt, you still have to find a way to win. You have to get your team, your players, to not pack up their tent and go home. They looked like they did. And I think moving forward for Alabama, Is this a sign that the program is in instant regression? Yes, it is, in my opinion, a sign that Alabama's fall from grace is going to be rather swift. I said going into the season, look, if Alabama goes 9-3, okay, fine. You don't necessarily want to give any coach a mulligan, especially at a place like Alabama, but there's no blueprint, right, for going from the best of all time to whoever, right, to anybody. So Kalen DeBoer had his work cut out for it. But 9-3, I think most Alabama fans that I spoke with would be, okay, it's not ideal, but whatever. We'll deal with it. It's fine. It's 1 year. This is different. This is something that you can't overcome. Even if you go 11-1, this one's going to be stuck on your head for a long time. Think about what we talked about with Nick Saban after year one. Louisiana Monroe, nonstop, all about Louisiana Monroe. Even after they lost in the SEC championship game to Florida the next year, but went in undefeated, it was still, you know what? You lost to Louisiana Monroe. That's what this is. That's what this is. I think for the future of the program, this is a sign that Kalen is not ready for prime time. It's not ready. He's not ready for prime time. He can change, but you cannot come out this flat. You cannot get punched in the face and show you have no fight when you have your C+ game against anybody. Yes, Vanderbilt's better, and we're going to talk about that in just a second, but it's inexcusable. This completely changes the trajectory of Kalen DeBoer's career. We are going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about what this means for the fight in Barton Simmons, my former colleague who's now on the Vandy staff. It's college football smothered and covered, and of course, we are powered by Locked On. Today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. Hey, NFL fans, you can start the season with a big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check the latest stats, get the live play-by-play. All of that is available right there on the same page in which you place your bets. It's all there for you. You can get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed with just your first $5 wager. That's right, $200 in bonus bets by just wagering $5. That's FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Show's also brought to you by Game Time. Curated deals make it easier to find the best price on seats on Game Time. They have the super deal seats. You can view them virtually before you buy them. They have the lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection, and job loss protection in case, you know what, you lose your job in this tough economy. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. That's code LOCKEDONCollege, LOCKEDONCOLLEGE, and you'll get $20 off your first purchase. What time is it? It's game time. All right, if you got any questions, drop them in. We will, I'll get to them as much as I can. Jay says, W reaction. I appreciate it. Spread the word about college football smothered and covered. We're here every day. Had an instant reaction to Texas A&M's game. Have an instant reaction to this one. Might see what happens tonight if Tennessee goes down. We'll always have something there as well. And plus Monday through Friday every morning right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. This is Diego Pavia is a wizard, man. He's a giant slayer. That guy has more guts and more moxie. I mean, this is the same guy that went into Auburn last year with New Mexico State and smoked the Tigers. This is the Jerry Kill effect. Some of his coaches went from New Mexico State with Pavia to Vanderbilt. It was an unstoppable offense. Alabama had nothing, even though they had the speed. The way that Clark Lea's group used that speed against Alabama was unbelievable. The over pursuit that was forced by Vandy, it wasn't Alabama's players not paying attention. That was scheme. Now, Vandy has some dudes. Don't get me wrong. Vandy has much better skill sets than a lot of other people. Eli Stowers has been around, man. He has been around for a long time. But this was more about scheme. This was Vanderbilt recognizing, hey, you know what? They're vulnerable in this spot. Let's make them over pursue. And they over pursued all damn game. Brilliant game plan. Diego Pavia executed it to perfection. And I think when all is said and done, this is a program-defining game. Diego Pavia, amidst all the curse words with Alyssa Lang at the SEC Network postgame show, said he came here to build a foundation. That's it. This is it. People are going to remember this. People are going to remember, hey, that Clark Lea dude with this offense, they beat Alabama and beat them handily. It was not a fluke. So, yes, he's right. And I love Clark Lea. He is, you remember 2-3 weeks ago, Isaac Carlin, new Locked On show. Wow, just discovered it. Thank you very much. Cool. This is actually a reboot of SEC Smothered and Covered, which went from 16 to 18, but it was unceremoniously discontinued for a lot of reasons. For some of it was CBS purposes, some of it was other stuff. But anyway, not neither here nor there. But this is Clark said to me. This was 2022 media days. I can't remember what one year. The first year he was there, he said he thinks he can make Clark Lea said he thinks he can make Vanderbilt the best program in the nation. And all of us laughed. I mean, I was sitting in my chair laughing. I was like, bro, really? Like, no, you absolutely cannot do that. But, and it'll never happen. With that said, James Franklin led this program to 9 wins 2 straight years. Can Vandy be that? I think it can. I think it can be one of those programs that, you know what? Okay, we're going to middle tier bowl every single year with Clark Lea at the helm, with the ability to recognize talent, with the ability to master the transfer portal in a way where it fits your system. He did that with this team in a year where there's all kinds of turmoil in terms of what the conference looks like. Dude, they have 2 signature wins. This is obviously the biggest one, but the win over Virginia Tech in week 1, I still think Virginia Tech actually might be pretty decent. That might be a much more attractive win as we go along. So this is definitely a foundation-setting win, a monumental win for not just the Vanderbilt program, but what Clark Lea's vision is. Because they were tougher. They showed that they were stronger. From a metric standpoint, maybe not, but they sure looked it on Saturday. From a scheme standpoint, they had Alabama's defensive coaches, their heads were going in circles, man. So Pavia is not wrong. Pavia is not wrong. This is a big deal. It's a big deal for Clark, big deal for my dude Barton Simmons, who I used to work with at CBS. He's on the staff. And look, man, Broadway is going to be wild tonight. Broadway is going to be a madhouse. It'll be interesting to see what happens, though, moving forward with Alabama. We talked about this in the first segment of the show, that this is inexcusable. I cannot wait to hear Feinbaum. I don't like watching Feinbaum all that much. I go on Feinbaum as a guest a lot, but I don't like watching it all that much if it's just the callers, because the callers are not very interesting to me. He's a good interviewer when guests come on, when players come on, when coaches come on. When I come on, he asks me good questions, but the callers are going to be incredible. They're going to be incredible. Bo Weevil. Hello, guys. Congrats, Vandy. Go Clemson. Clemson is sleeping giant. Go back and watch the show 2 days ago. You'll see how much I love Clemson. I think Clemson's going to be legit at the end of the season. But that'll do it for this instant reaction show. Appreciate you guys. It'll be on audio a little bit later. But yeah, definitely spread the word if this is your first time. Thank you for catching up with us. Like I said, it's a reboot of SEC Smothered and Covered, which went from 16 to 18. We started the national show, back in February. Went out on my own boss. A lot of fun. So spread the word of the show. Still trying to get the word out. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Go check out Locked On College Football with Spencer McLaughlin as well. Go follow the show. Hey, and if you want to become a college football Smothered and Covered insider, go check out the subtext. You can see it in the information below, the show comments below. Not right now on the live show, but it will be when it's up on demand later, once the YouTube gods decide to put this up in video form. Have a good one. Talk to you later tonight. We will have, of course, the wrap-up show, which will have no shortage of topics.